But I want to talk about two ex-governors that have publicly challenged you. One is Dave Umahi, Minister of Works, challenged you to a debate after you criticized the state of Nigerian roads. Are you going to accept the challenge for the debate?
Well, number one is that what I did is that I started the debate already by standing on that road and saying this road is bad.
Right.
So the only reply would have been, the road is good. But I thank him. He's now repairing the road.
Right.
So the debate is closed. There's no other thing to debate.
Okay.
If he now wants debate,
yes,
inviting me as a presidential candidate for a debate, he has to go and become a presidential candidate first.
Right.
You don't stay, the World Cup is going on now. You don't stay outside and say, you are inviting the teams that are inside the qualified to do World Cup to come and play with you because you're good. No. There's a qualification.
Right.
I'm a presidential candidate. Another presidential candidate participates in debate all over the world.
Right.
It is the top one. It's like somebody who is in Division 1 asking a Premier League team that to a match without, no.
Right.
You play according to your circle.
Right.
When he becomes a presidential candidate,
Right.
those who are there, they will debate.
Right.
My debates now with him have ended because he's doing the road, and I appreciate that. He's an engineer, not an engineer. I never claimed to be one, but I know that this road is bad. And that's what I said, that this road is a major artery that carries people. And let me tell you, as governor, I'm very close to Dr. Chris Ngige.
Right.
And I always say he's my respected elder brother.
Yes.
Chris used to go to my site or where things are bad and say, look at what Peter B is doing here. And I'll go and fix it. In fact, a school in his village, he told me what is wrong with the school. And I said I'll visit the school. By the time I arrived at the school, he was there waiting for me. Showing me things that are bad, and I did it. That's governance. That's why I say we're doing this politics as if it's war. He showed me things that are bad. That's it. I just said a road that is bad. I was crossing there. 2 people missed their flight because of the road. I said, this road is bad. Now that it's fixing the road, what are we debating again? Right. Truly, if I'm president of this country, I will do everything possible to make opposition parties strong and participatory in governance. What we should be doing now is bringing the country together, bringing other ideas together to work. It's very critical.
But if
very important.
But if you believe that your party is a strong, if a president, for instance, believes that his party is the strongest party to rescue the country, and he believes that his opposition's ideas are damaging, why should he be helping them be strong?
Listen, it's about democracy.
Okay.
No one party, anything, have monopoly of ideas or suggestions that can make a society work. The more you bring everybody together, the more we discuss it, the more we consult, the better result.
Right.
So there's no way I will make sure opposition parties are stronger. I'll make sure every section of Nigeria is strong. We'll bring everybody together so we can talk. What we should be doing now is directly opposite to what we should be doing. The parties should have been coming together to talk about existential problems facing the country today.
Right.
So when somebody comes and says, oh, you didn't build a secondary school. Why do I have to build a secondary school when there's secondary school all over the place that we are in bad shape and depleted, and I go and build a new one? That is the problem of Africa. That is the problem because there's corruption. Because people want to start their own. If you want, there's so many existing ones. Anambra is not a place where you go and say, oh, there's no secondary school. There are secondary schools all over the place. But they were in bad shape. Their structures, everything have collapsed. Things were not working. There's nothing. So I needed to rebuild them. And I rebuilt them. And if you go there, you see buildings that were all built. If you collect them together, I would have killed about hundreds of secondary schools. But I didn't need to. A university, I built a university college campus in a place called Umahi from the scratch, cutting the forest. I built a teaching hospital from the fastest teaching hospital ever built in Nigeria was built under my tenure in 2 years from the scratch. It's today in Oka. You can go there. These are things you can see. They're physical. They're not promised and everything. When I started, we didn't have a state library. I built one. It's there in Oka. You can go and see it.
Great. Mr. Obi, critics have accused you of not building any schools during your tenure as governor of Anambra State. Can you elaborate on the initiatives that you implemented to improve the educational systems in Anambra during your tenure? And why do you think there's this misconception that's obviously being floated around?
I actually built a lot of, they said building schools. I don't know whether building schools or building infrastructures in school. I don't know what they actually want. If you look at what I've done, I've actually built a lot of schools. But I don't need to answer that. If they read my manifesto, before I became governor, Anambra State was very low in education. In fact, schools were closed for 2 years. People did not go to school. We were low in rating. And while I was there, when I came, if you read my manifesto, what I told you now was areas where I said I'm going to deal with. And we moved from 20-something in number to number 1. Go and get, even today, go and get even cutoff point. Anambra is the highest. But number 1 to today. You know, maybe
what were the specific what reforms that you implemented to achieve that you think that can?
I don't know. I wish any of you are from Anambra State. I wish you are. So you call your town and I'll tell you what I did in your town in education. All the schools, we have about 500 secondary schools. Let me start with secondary schools.
Okay.
All the 500 secondary schools had what I can call, we computerized. We had buses. We had support in terms of teachers. We had generators to make sure they have light. Those who needed boreholes, we give them boreholes. There's nothing, I don't know how we will start to tell you. I visited all of them at least twice, physically. Look at the infrastructures. Look at what is happening with them. Ensure that they have things that is required for learning. And that's, I can go on and on. No school, as at the time, maybe it's happening now, no state, I can say categorically in Nigeria, where you were able to equip the schools the way we did. No state. No state will you say the schools had brand new buses too. No school had, will you say all the secondary schools had generator. No place, when we bought our computers, desktop, everything from HP, which is still there, as at the time, they said no government in Africa have bought this quantity from them. In fact, the vice president for Africa and Middle East came the day we launched it they will give it away to schools. So there's a lot of improvement. We put internet in all the secondary schools. So it can go on and on. A university, I built a university college campus in a place called Umahi from the scratch, cutting the forest. I built a teaching hospital from The fastest teaching hospital ever built in Nigeria was built under my tenure in 2 years, from the scratch. It's today in Oka. You can go there. These are things you can see. They're physical. They're not promised and everything. When I started, we didn't have a state library. I built one. It's there in Oka. You can go and see it. And I can go on and on in areas where in health was the same thing. We didn't have one single school of nursing, midwifery, or school of health technology that was accredited. Today, we have over a dozen. They were all supported, accredited while I'm there. So you can go and, these are things that are, I'm telling you the things that are verifiable. You can go and see it. So when somebody comes and says, oh, you didn't build a secondary school. Why do I have to build a secondary school when there's secondary school all over the place that we are in bad shape and depleted, and I go and build a new one? That is the problem of Africa. That is the problem because there's corruption. Because people want to start their own. If you want, there's so many existing ones. Anambra is not a place where you go and say, oh, there's no secondary school. There are secondary schools all over the place. But they were in bad shape. Their structures, everything have collapsed. Things were not working. There's nothing. So I needed to rebuild them. And I rebuilt them. And if you go there, you see buildings that were all built. If you collect them together, I would have killed about hundreds of secondary schools. But I didn't need to. It's a state I know every community. I visited every community. I didn't say I visited every single community in Anambra State as governor at least twice while I was there. So I know what every community needed, and I provided it. They have secondary schools, visited the secondary school, saw it, saw what they were there, and tried to do something. So I don't need to build a new one. Fantastic. Even at that, there's some new ones that were set up while I was there, and I supported it, and I can show, and I can say, we did this in education. And to prove it, we became number one. If you go to the secondary schools today, they still tell you, Mr. Obi did this, Mr. Obi did this. And since I left over 10 years ago, it is still the same generator that I gave them that they have. It's still the same vehicle that I gave them. It's still the same. So